Well, Mr. Storm,
What's going on,
how are
Miss
you?
Maddox?
How are you doing? How this is a really naked way to see The Office.
Hmm.
Um, man, I'm excited. Episode number 2 just kind of like showing up. You know,
Hmm.
how have you been? How's your week? How's your toy extravaganzas going?
Everything's going good. Well, you see, I'm in my lavish studio. Obviously,
Yeah,
you can tell for the background designs, but we spare no expense on our network and shit.
that's true.
Everything's been going good, man. Again, if anybody's tuning in, thank you for tuning in tonight because most definitely we all know it's Valentine's Day, and to get here to talk about toys, that means it's most people must have some pretty good significant others. So that's
That is true. Yeah. But hey, I am excited that you are officially my Valentine for the next
oh yeah, there you
30 to
go.
30 to 40 minutes of conversation.
And I was
Um
a much cheaper date, I'm sure.
oh, by far, man, my wallet appreciates you.
Well,
Oh,
this we've been looking at all the toy news and everything else like that, and all the aspects been hitting. This course is actually the week after the Super Bowl, so God knows everything that they could put up, they did put up, and everything
I
else like
did.
that.
Yeah.
And since we did watch the Super Bowl and saw the extravaganza that it is, same thing on Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl. Mattel Creations started sending out notices that their Eternia playset, Masters of the Universe Eternia playset, was showing up. And so, like before you got the Super Bowl, you got the notification that this stuff was popping up on your door.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, like I said again, now I'm not a big Motu fan. I've never really been, but I know some people that were really excited. And especially, it's like, you got the fans that always have the Castle Grayskulls, you know,
Yeah.
and, Snake Mountain was a big deal, and they got that through several different companies. But this Eternia playset apparently is a super rare playset. So everybody was really pumped out, and Mattel Creations. Now, look, the price tag was $550, man. Wow.
I
Was
mean,
it
but
was the
but
Cat's Lair bad,
yeah, it's not Cat's Lair bad, but I mean, if you think about it, like there's a nostalgia price in there too, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's probably what's happening is the nostalgia price.
Well, the biggest thing, I have a friend of mine who's a big Motu fan. He ordered it, and like his biggest thought process wasn't the $550 or anything he spent. It
Hmm.
was like, where the hell am I going to put this thing? Because
Oh, okay.
apparently this thing is super massive. Well, the box alone was crazy massive. But now, speaking of the boxes, and I know the greatest fear that's been coming out, and I know this through several YouTubers and everyone else is like, is my Eternia playset going to come to my house without being damaged? Well, there's some lucky people out there. There's been some unlucky people out there.
Yeah.
And it's been, now here's the point, $550. That's not including shipping too.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, doesn't HasLab include shipping?
If you're a Hasbro Premium Pulse member.
Okay, so it's
If you're
basically the same.
if
It's
you're
basically
not, then you actually, I guess it's one of those things that if you're a Premium Pulse member, it's you pay your $50 a year or how much ever it is now, and that exonerates you from basically having to pay shipping fees. It works if you buy a lot of stuff from Hasbro Pulse. I don't know how well, or if there's any incentive like in the Mattel Creations, because I don't imagine myself buying 6 or 7 Mattel Creation items a year.
no.
They just haven't done a good job, I think, of marketing and coming along, because before this I believe it was those Jurassic Park gates that fell through, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Mhm.
ones were.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand what the purpose of that one was, but I guess
Look,
that's we don't get paid to understand that.
they could put that on retail shelves. Those gates were underwhelming, man. It just opened up to play some music. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a good place for those is like in Target, like
Hmm.
at the bottom over by the like kids section where it's just
Hmm.
like I just need something to fill up my kid's room, and so you just get the play set.
Hmm. It's
You just
true.
you know what I mean, and it's got to say like playmates on the bottom or like play school.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally the vibe I got from that, and I was like, I can't believe they even tried that.
And especially at the price range. Now, I saw a couple of people that went to San Diego Comic Con, And it was more impressive when you saw it in person, but still, it's still a set of gates, man. Again, as we were talking about, I was saying this is a once like your buddy comes to the house, you show him the gates open. That's pretty much.
But where is the rest of the collection of Jurassic Park? It's never been made into like a collection. You've never been like, I'm going to collect every dinosaur from the movie Jurassic Park. So what would you do with the freaking game?
Well, there are some. I'm sure there is a couple of fans out there that actually has a huge Jurassic Park, because I remember in the '90s, the late '90s, that was a huge thing for people to have some of the original Jurassic Park stuff, and that was, and some of those figures actually were the dinosaurs were worth something.
Yeah.
But this new one, like, look, mostly I see them at the clearance sections of like Ross or like Berlin Deco Factory. There's dinosaurs on top of dinosaurs. This new Hammond collection is all over the place, and you can get like I think they were like $40-$50 in Target, and now you're looking at like dinosaurs for like $3.99.
Yeah, I mean that's my thing is I can't tell you where it would be cool is if you had like a shelf and then you open up the gates of Jurassic Park to like a Ninja Turtles diorama. And then it was just, you were just flashing money at that point. It's like your Jurassic Park gate opens to this latest like Motu screw up. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
Well, speaking of screw ups, now the one thing that I think Hasbro Pulse and Mattel Creations do have involved in the same thing is they both use FedEx. Now, when the His Tank came, first of all, Hasbro's packaging was just amazing.
Yeah.
And for once, like my FedEx driver just didn't throw it off the back of the truck as he drove off. He actually walked it up to the door and set it up, because the FedEx doesn't have the best history when it comes to that.
Which is weird. Which is weird because UPS used to be worse.
That's true. But
you remember the Yuri don't smush the package?
I remember.
That was a total stab.
And I can tell you something. I think it's because maybe UPS and unions and everything, now they gotten a little bit more. They had that big union contract last year. Maybe there was a stipulation you better take care of people's packages a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we're gonna share now. Like I said again, for everybody that's tuned in and everything. The Shadow Nose Network. This is the Toy Box Chronicles. If you miss us on here, you can always go over to Instagram, find out our times and everything that we pop in. So we're going to pop into our Instagram page because we did a post this week, and the post was, is anyone else having this package? Now you can see right here from the little diorama right here. There's a undamaged Eternia set, and there's a box.
That's so bad.
Yes. And this was not, can you imagine you paid $550 and then you start seeing packages show up? Looks like, for somehow someone stepped on this one. It looks like it just crushed in, You're looking at, this is inside the package inside. Now, again, the Hasbro Pulse, they actually had plastic like corner, and they covered like in a triangle as well.
Yeah.
So, it looks like, Mattel just took people's money and didn't really think. And this is just like, I know some people are like,
I mean, this is something where if I pay that much, because like we already talked about last time, the Hasbro HasLab, like if you buy anything on HasLab or Creations, the chances are like maybe you're not gonna leave it in the box, but you're gonna want the box.
Box, exactly.
Right? Because like, I mean, if I think about this, like we talked about last week, like the comic book series of Grimlock and Starscream,
Shockwave,
yeah. Like those, that's like $50 and then like 30 something dollars respectively. And like if those boxes are messed up, I'll get upset.
Exactly.
But I can't imagine that this box and looking at it, it's not, but like there's a lot of time and effort gone into this. And so the question is like, did Mattel do this on purpose?
Well, now here's the thing that I've been hearing, and this is like, I can't say this officially came from Mattel or anything like that, but people are saying that the inside contents, the outside contents were fine, some of them, and they said that the box was damaged, but the outside contents of the box wasn't. So I'm wondering if this is something that happened at the factory. They put in shipping containers and sent out, but then I've seen also some where the outside package is damaged, outside protective cardboard is damaged and the inside is damaged as well. But from what I'm hearing, I'm thinking that a lot of people are like, they rushed this factory on, shipped it in
Yeah.
the boxes that were messed up, and they just sent them out. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's the case. I mean, I guess you have the most recent experience, right? So like if your his tank showed up and the box had any one of these damages we've seen so far, like how upset would you have been?
Oh, I'd be pretty pissed off, especially because of the wait time. It's not
Yeah.
like this is something where, you're pre-ordering it and then like, a month later it's coming in the mail.
Right.
Something it's like you're putting in almost a year into some of these crowdfunded
Yeah.
things. And again, it seems like in just my personal opinion on this, but it seemed like Mattel took $550 and then they basically, because I think there was only eight, I think they didn't even get to they were supposed to get to 10,000 backers, but they didn't. I think they got close to about 9,000 backers.
Mm,
And so not all the tiers were unlocked for everyone. Um, but it just seemed like, maybe this massive playset, they didn't really break that even on it. So they thought, well, let's cheap it up and
yeah.
let's save some money on packaging, because the like I took like the HasLab, his tank was box out of box out of box, basically.
Yeah.
It was very well packaged. In fact, it was almost difficult getting into the box,
Yeah.
so
But I mean that's what I would want if I spent that much money on something.
exactly. Now
Especially
I haven't heard any problems happen like this from the HasLabs, but if anybody's had any problems with any bad HasLabs,
I can
drop
only
some comments.
I would be curious because I bet you it happened early on.
Mm,
Right. But
exactly.
they've had to ship some big ones though. They had Unicron they had to ship. That was massive.
Yeah, the Galactus.
Yeah, the Galactus they had to ship.
Hmm.
That was super massive.
Hmm.
I mean the GI Joe helicopter that's
Well, they did
coming.
the Dragonfly. Yeah, that's
The
supposed to
Dragonfly,
be,
that's
which
massive.
chances are that's not even gonna. We're not even gonna look at that until, because this time they didn't even get this stuff out until like what, December.
Yeah, it'll be
And
2025
so
before the
yeah,
that shows
I
up.
got a feeling it's gonna be late in the early year. They haven't seemed like they can turn these things around in like a full calendar year. It's more like a calendar year in 3 months or so.
Yeah.
But
Um yeah, and so anything else around this?
no, no, like I said, other than again, if anybody's had any problems with their turning play sets and damaged everything, hey, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up here in the comment sections to let us know if you spent $550 and you came with something that was damaged.
Yeah. No, I would be I would be extremely upset. I mean, I've literally got upset over an Amazon package showing up with a damaged
Hmm.
box. It's so
Yeah.
that's that's different. Um I think obviously we're going to be doing an unboxing. This is probably something people have seen before, but we decided that we were just going to start doing our unboxings, whether it's myself or Mr. Storm in these podcasts. That's part of the reason why we started them. But before we do that, is there any, like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, the toy news has been kind of like all over the place.
It has
Like
been. It has been crazy.
this last week, right? Like I feel
Hmm.
like there's been a lot of information, but a little bit said. Like,
Hmm. Well, I think the big thing was the Hasbro's fourth quarter earnings were underwhelming, if that, and yet again they were talking about probably another round of layoffs over there. I'm sure, because when you're beholden to a corporate board, you've got your shareholders are going to get their money, man. So and it's a shame because they were talking about a lackluster December. Well, I got to be honest with you. That's still a little bit of the problem was the plastic-free packaging. I think that's why their fourth quarter was very underwhelming. You
yeah, I
know,
mean, I like this was the in as far back as I can remember. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably the one time that I've seen the most amount of toys hit discount stores.
yes,
Just like I mean, they just were piling up. like I sent you guys a picture of this when I went into Ollie's and it was just like they had emptied it out. So
mhm,
it's like where does it go if Ollie's empties it out?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if Ross and Ollie's and Burlington Co Factory and all these like off-brand places, like where do they go now after that? Because if Ollie's bought them, right, and they're selling them for $5, can I buy that pallet at like $1 a toy?
I'm almost probably sure there's probably some place you can. I'm
Right,
sure.
and then but then what's your resale value? Like, how would you resell that?
Oh,
Because you wouldn't sell them at all,
well, now the worst part is even when you were doing your outlets, and the same thing out here with the Rosses and Burlington Coat Factories. You know, yeah, early like November, there was a lot of great stuff that was coming in. Maybe early December. By the time you got to late December into January, there's a couple of things, but like all the premium stuff had been gone.
yeah.
You weren't really seeing it, and of course, this is the way it happens. If they had a rough December, which you're saying their fourth quarter was crap, don't
Horrible.
worry. In the next couple of weeks, we'll start seeing some stuff pop into some Ollie's and some Rosses as well.
Yeah, because they got to try to make some kind of revenue back.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
selling it off to them is going to be worth more than like I don't know.
But I'm gonna be interested to see the first quarter numbers from them because a lot of stuff started coming back into the plastic packaging again.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if that, because again, I always thought, and like we've always had a discussion about this, is that, look, if you're, you can sell to, 20, 30, 40-year olds. And like sometimes the package free packaging is not going to be a problem, but it's those kids that walk down the aisle that can see the item
That
that
just
more
makes
or
them
less
buy it.
that you definitely want to see that. So I think their four quarters crap. I think their first quarter with the new packaging coming in, because I've looked at all the stuff they're doing from classified and everything else, it's all moved back to that. Let's see if their earnings go up a little bit
I mean, I hope it does.
more.
But like again, just to touch really quick on that, and then we'll definitely get into opening this up. Um, I like. I still stand behind like the original Ninja Turtles Playmates card back,
Hmm.
like blister cover. Like that's just such a good way to present toys. Like
Hmm.
this is how good it is. Okay, people don't understand this about toy collectors, so I'm gonna enlighten everybody.
Okay.
Walking down the aisle, like when they did the re-release of these like Playmate ones, and I got some for myself, I got some for Chris. The way they were hanging on the hooks
Hmm.
and walking in and being able to touch them and like go behind them to see which ones are there brought
Hmm.
back instantaneous like kid memories, which made me realize I could just buy this. And I
Yeah.
did, and I did,
Hmm.
and it was like because it made me remember when I was a kid, wishing I could buy whatever I wanted,
Hmm.
and then now I'm there doing this as an adult, I guess is what you would call me, and like I was like, oh, I could just buy this. So like that nostalgia, like that kicked in real quick and made me purchase it, which also made me then send Chris a message being like, hey, you want a whole set? And it was like I got him like all four of the Ninja Turtles and the Ninja Turtle van, and it was
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
it was awesome. So
Yeah, and I think that's the nostalgia factory too. I think, like, it's the same thing when you walk into Target, you don't really kind of feel that same vibe anymore. It's like, again, we were talking about the Toys R Us's and the KB toy stores back in the day.
yeah,
It had a, like, some kind of nostalgic feeling, and euphoria hit you. But like the way Target has their toy house is so far in the back, and you go through all the consumer needs. By the time you get there, it's not there. And I think that especially some of the specialty stores, a lot of the now GameStop's a little different. You walk into GameStop, it's kind of like out there in the front and everything. It's a little bit
yeah,
more. But I think Walmart and Target, it does a pretty bad disservice with them being all the way in the back. And by the time you get through the trail mixes and cereals and everything else, and then you see your toys next to
yeah,
fishing items, it's kind of like knocked the kind of like the joy out of you.
yeah. And I mean I think if they move the toys to a more upfront area,
Hmm.
I really feel like they would sell a lot more
I
because
think
then
so.
like number one, the kids would have to walk through it,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
like you just make your money.
Hmm.
All right, so we're gonna unbox it. For those of you that don't know what we're unboxing, hold tight. Let me move my mic over here. But this is the gold label Todd McFarlane Batman Artist Series, and this was Collectible Bane. I only got this one because it's the one I like the most, but it is this,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah,
is weird because you can't see any of the green because the green screen stuff. But
yeah.
really cool, like really cool box. I think it's I don't know the packaging, the gold. I mean, the gold series is great, right?
Yeah,
Like
he's really set it up. I know the Gold Series Batmobile with the I guess the Batman Michael Keaton figure. That was a big seller, and basically because it kind of like it was a matte black. It kind of looked more traditionally like the '89 one did.
yeah,
But yeah, most of his gold label stuff. I think about a couple of years ago they had the Batman hazmat version that lit up. Some of those gold label stuff is really nice, man.
well they definitely package it right.
Hmm.
Fun fact. This is one of my first gold labels I've ever opened.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but it opens like a regular box.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get crazy and take all these
yeah. The accessories
accessories
on
out
there.
though.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. What I do like, well, I'm not gonna take it out. It's gonna take up time. But if you look at the back of the box, right,
Yeah, it
you have
has
this
a
the
stand
card,
in the card. Hmm.
the stand. I like. I'm gonna give it to him on that one. Like that, the stand is underrated. I
Yes, it
think,
is.
and the card. And if you look at the stuff and how he does some of these other like crazier ones that you buy, like they
Hmm.
have like the actual like altar that you put the card in, so it's like up.
Hmm.
I think that's a good thing. I think that should be done more when you're paying premium.
Well,
Um,
like I said, it's giving you a little something extra. And the
yeah,
thing I like about most of the gold labels or most of his, well, just the DC lines included, is with the stand. It actually does say like DC on it, so it's not like a generic like stand that he just put in there. It's actually branded for that figure, so that's kind of cool.
yeah. I think I turned off. Okay, yeah, cool. You can see the greens now.
Hmm.
So that this was important. I wanted to show that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it now.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I really like it.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna take this out in a second, but and then the cape here is like a
It looks
it's
like
like it's like a
vinyl,
rubber.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like vinyl rubber.
Hmm. Now, I'll notice the one thing I'll say about the McFarlane figures is he packages them well, but it's a bitch getting that stuff out, man.
Yeah, man. I usually have scissors
Hmm.
when I'm doing the.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things you don't want to have, like any younger kids open with themselves because man, they wrap the legs, they wrap the arms, they wrap around the waist, you know.
Yeah, and this kind of goes with the whole thing we were talking about too. Like, if you have the toys, like, why aren't you unboxing them? Like,
Exactly. Hmm.
this one, this is a really good build. This is a really good build quality. So
Hmm.
you can kind of see, just
Yeah.
to let everyone take a look.
Yeah. And the one thing that I'll give them too is that I remember one time in the early days, the McFarlane figures, we used to just have a joke. They were beautifully sculptured, but they were nothing more than statues. They had very limited articulation and everything. They were nice, but you rarely could like pose them. And the thing that I like about this is that, you can actually pose and like the characters and like all the joints and everything else. So that he's really done a good job with his articulation in the last, like I say, decade.
Yeah, I mean, like it's got there's so much movement in this.
Hmm.
Like I like the disc in between the joints,
Hmm. Hmm.
so it has more flexibility on top and bottom, like so
Yeah.
above and below the knee,
Hmm.
right? Like it's really well done. I mean, I'm excited about this purchase.
Yeah.
Obviously, we could go into more detail if we want. Maybe I will. Um, but it's really comfortable. It's got a good weight to it. I do love all the
Exactly.
accessories. These are
Hmm.
Bane's feet. Obviously, I don't have that,
Yeah.
but I really enjoy that they're yellow. I really like the artist series. I think it's just a different take on
Hmm.
toys.
Hmm. And you know, like I said again, you know, while we're today, we've got you know, February 14th. I know it'll be unwise and everything. Let's give McFarlane a little bit of a plug. I know tomorrow he's doing a which will be the 15th Thursday at 4:30. I guess it's Pacific Standard Time for me. It could be different time for everyone else. But he's doing a his he does his digital kind of toy scenario
Hmm.
where he, like, you know, and I saw him on a recent podcast somewhere where he explained that, you know, for some time maybe people don't have the space or something, and he just wants something to live digitally.
Yeah.
Well, he's been doing that a lot and everything else like that. Yeah, they're going for it. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's going to start jumping up because I know he did say he was raising the prices on those DC figures.
Yeah. Do we know when that's happening though? Because I really want to collect. I need to,
Well,
I need to find I need to find the rest of these
I
figures.
know he was saying that he was going to especially jump on the builder figures. So the builder figures are going to definitely gonna jump up higher than that, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, look again, you know, it's Todd McFarlane's DC variants, and you know what? Actually, Chris, I will let you know that yeah, I do think that sometimes he goes a little too far in the variants. You know, same thing like in his comic book line. He goes. There's way too many different versions of it. I noticed he's been doing like, you know, there's the I just saw that thing for the Azrael version of Deshaun Gordon Murphy, the White Knight figures, which looks great, but is
You
an
talk
all
you talking
black and
about
white
that
artist.
that 30 the sketch one?
Yes, yes, you know. So you get the
Yeah.
regular figure, there's a sketch figure, then there's a gold label figure, and like, you know, it just really starts coming like one after another, man.
Is it only the gold label that has the 22 points?
I you know that I don't know actually. We might have to do some research on that one.
Yeah, if you know, let us know below if you want to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head if gold labels like the McFarlane line that only does 20, because this thing is 22 points, and I don't remember the other ones having that many.
I don't know, but I will say he's upped it because I do know I have a couple of them from like the Batman the Batman the movie series to go with the Batmobile and everything. And
Yeah.
like, you know, again, it's like not only it's the knees, point the feet move, the like ankles, the like, you know, there's so much. Even I think I've even seen a couple where like, you know, the hand actually
Oh,
has
well,
a joint in it.
like this one here, like if you look
Mhm.
on this,
Yeah,
like the toes
there you
bend,
go.
the foot bends like backwards, like you can go side to, but like just the fact that the toe bends like that, you can get so much more. What I was talking about the disc is like here.
Hmm.
Like look at that bend on an
Yeah.
action figure. Like
Hmm.
that, you know what I mean? Like
Now, I will say this one thing about the McFarlane figures over, like, let's say Hasbro's, is certain Hasbro figures I have been worried when I pulled them out from the packaging, and I
yeah.
thought it was going to snap a joint,
Yes.
you know. But McFarlane's are a little bit more looser, and I haven't had that feeling from it. So you know,
Chris has line art variants and sketch
it's good
series.
serious. No, he's right. Like every time I turn around, he's got another you know, something else to build the lineup. But again, he's paying I'm sure, you know, DC's not doing it out of the kindness of their heart and everything else.
No.
They're getting a chunk of that money every time he's doing it, you know.
Yeah, and if they're finally giving him IPs that are like memorable, right? Like the Michael
Exactly.
Keaton Batman, like that's an
Hmm.
IP that's hard to get your hands on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was impressed with that. I think that I think I'm gonna try to build this, but I think that this like kind of is kicking me into like the McFarlane line. I've kind of
Hmm.
stayed away from it because of the fact that it's like if I want this figure or this whatever,
Hmm.
like pick one because there's 40 of them. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
which I think is funny, and we'll talk about them when we get them. But you and I pre-ordered the Page Punchers,
We did, yeah, yeah.
which
Hmm.
are definitely, from what I heard, they're sold out now. Because I was
God,
gonna
that
look.
was quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super quick. I was trying to get. At least I couldn't find it. Maybe it's restocked, but I really wanted to get Cobra, the
Hmm.
Cobra
Hmm.
one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's fine. I'm sticking with the Transformer ones. You get the GI Joe ones, but it's just McFarlane toy line has like it's just hard to find out. Okay, which line do I want to collect?
Exactly. And I think he does that on like he gives the one aspect that will give McFarlane a little bit more credit on. He gives the fans what they want. You know,
Yeah.
if it's something I remember, like in the cast, he was everybody was after the '89 Batmobile. People were asking, "Where are you going?" He's, we'll get around to the other Batmobiles." It's like, wow, because while I have the '89, I have the Batman version of it. But I've always wanted to get like the Dawn of Justice, Superman and Batman version of it, and that was like because I think there was either Hasbro or Mattel had that, and they just didn't do something screen accurate. So I
Yeah.
know that if McFarlane does something, it's going to be, it might not be to the exact scale, but it's going to at least be a little bit close to screen accurate. Because I remember they had the remote control version that Mattel did that they put out, but that was the Justice League version, and I never liked it with the cannon on top and everything.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It does, yeah. It messed up the whole aesthetic.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with you. I think it's a little weird. I do
now
want to
let
get my hand. I do want to get my hands on these though. These are fun. These are fun figures.
Now, do you see yourself actually with like I know, like I said again, McFarlane's digital thing? Do you see yourself ever purchasing any of those digital, I guess, digital toys or NFTs as we used
His
to
like
used to
his
call
like
them?
the like digital build a figure stuff.
Well,
No,
I
I
don't
don't.
know if
I
it's
mean,
digital
like
build a figure, but it's just the
that's what it
figure
is.
itself.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. So literally, there's an article, and it's Seth, it's McFarlane DC Toys, and it's for the Green Lantern, Batman, and Aquaman figures with a digital build a figure.
Oh God.
Like how lame are we getting? Like to answer your question, probably not. I think an NFT has to have a utility function. We could get into
Hmm.
that, but I think there has to be some kind of function. Like Liquid Death, if you have their NFT, like
Hmm.
you get access to like things, you get discounts, like you buy like
Hmm.
you're part of their club. Um, there was a point in time when they were doing and they still are, but like Topps trading cards
Yes.
was releasing cabbage the Garbage Pail Kids
Hmm.
digitally, like, and those digital packs were going for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hmm.
Because it was like, oh, I got like Gen 1 Garbage Pail Kid like NFT, and it's like, yeah, I get it. That's cool, I guess, but also like it's not collecting the way you think it is.
Exactly.
So I'm a little rough to be jumping in and like getting on that
Well,
bandwagon as
I've never seen, technically it's one of those things that I always believe that, if it's digitally online, you don't really own it. It's kind of like the same thing with, all of
oh
your
yeah.
DVDs and everything. You don't really own it. If something happens to McFarlane and his company goes away tomorrow, hey, you might be just up a creek
Yeah, that's it.
trying to get your digitals.
Well, we had talked about that a little bit prior,
Hmm.
but it's the same in the game industry, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Here's a game. Oh, well, you don't get it anymore because we're shutting it down. It's like, well, do I get my money back because you took $80 from me?
Hmm.
It's like, no, but you should just enjoy the fact you got to play it, and that's really what's going to happen with this. Like, I don't know what the purpose of having a digital build a figure would be because there's nothing I don't see how that translates into real world.
I don't, but like I said, that's the good thing about collecting. There's always something out there from everyone, and it is
It's
cool that
wild.
he's doing it. I noticed that when he did his actual statue and this version of the giant cloaked Batman, he did give the NFT out to people if you purchase like one version of like a different variant version, then it came with the NFT. I
Mm.
think that kind of works if you like buy the figure and then they give it as a bonus. But for me to just buy something digitally to turn on my computer and see it floating around 360 makes no sense to me. But to each their own, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's look, I give him credit, man. He's trying everything. It's one of those dudes that he's going to throw everything at the wall to see if it sticks. He literally is throwing everything at the wall to see if it's going to stick.
He can. I more power to him on that.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
what'll happen is something sticks and it's really good. It's gonna drive the industry. So
Hmm. Now, I was going through the walking the aisles of a couple of stores this week, and I
mhm.
started seeing because again, obviously, we saw the big Super Bowl spread with Godzilla and Kong. and I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
those figures on the market. I am a little bit underwhelmed by some of those figures, man. Like Godzilla just does not look as well
Yeah,
like in that form.
someone's got to do something to create one that people are going to want to buy. But there was the one that we saw.
And so was it, if I'm not mistaken, was it NECA that was making some, or there was another company that really did some really nice ones that looked really good?
I thought it
But
was Super 7 making the Godzilla -1.
oh yeah, they are. That
Yeah,
is. Mhm.
because that's a good toy. Like that.
It's a good
If
toy, expensive as hell, but it's a good toy.
well, yeah, but if it looks the way it does in the
Yeah.
pictures, like
Mhm.
there's your Godzilla toy.
Yeah, this one it just seemed like something where there was I can't remember the company that did the Godzilla Kong first figures. Those look pretty good, but these just looked, I don't know, man.
I think they should do a line of Godzilla and Kong in wrestling gear through like WWE or whatever.
you know,
I think that'd be great.
I'll be surprised if they don't collide at WrestleMania this year.
I know. That's so stupid. I'm so mad that I'm gonna watch WrestleMania. Yeah, so there's a lot of toy news, but I think a lot of it, like I said, like you and I were talking, but I think a lot of it was just kind of like noise. I didn't see anything like, I mean, Hasbro released quite a few new things on HasLab
hmm
or on Hasbro Pulse. They released they
Yeah, I
released
saw.
some.
I also saw the thing too that was kind of like a little interesting to me this week was there was a lot of like the GI Joe some of the sub teams and
Mhm.
some they already had like leaked photos and everything else of that. Now I'm wondering, is Hasbro doing this, or is it like somebody basically giving up like corporate photos and everything? Because there's a lot of leaks that's been coming out, the in packaging and everything could, and I think it might be them just to get the buzz of, hey, we got rid of that packaging, this is new stuff coming in. But they had shown some figures where they said you'll see digital renderings of it, but then they actually showed the actual figures, and somebody had like photos of them in the package and everything. So I'm starting to see that happen a lot more than them waiting for their, because I know their Hasbro's doing a big event on the February 29th, leap year kind of funny thing, but
Yeah.
they're going to do a big GI Joe event then. But we're starting to already see a bunch of stuff just leak out now.
Yeah, but there was a leak that was on the Japanese it was on Amazon's Japanese website.
hmm
That leak that was on there was the Transformers train bot Yamabuki.
hmm
Did you see that one?
I haven't seen that one. No.
Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Because there's some good stuff that hit.
Well, I will say that I think that they're doing a better job of the 40th anniversary of Transformers than they did last year's 40th anniversary of GI Joe. I've
Yeah.
seen the buzz and I've seen a lot of stuff that they're doing, and it looks just 10 times better. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that is pretty nice. And you know what, that looks like that's worth that too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, this was leaked and then they obviously put it up.
hmm
Um but
Wow. Yeah.
you can also see
Oh
that
yeah.
all if you collect them all, they transform into like a giant. I don't know what that one's called. It's just another thing that's gonna take up all my money.
Yeah, well, that's you got to give Hasbro credit. They start pulling out stuff before their anniversaries, and they really have done a great job. Everything I've seen that they've been popping up so far, and we're only in like the second month of the year, so I can only
Yeah.
imagine what's coming down, man.
Well, we also have this. You and I talked about this earlier. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan. I'm not a fan of this. What are your thoughts on the Marvel Legends Daredevil Hydro?
you know what, I normally like Daredevil figures. This one, I don't know if they tried to go for um because it looks like it's like the shaded shells or something, like like they did shading on him. It doesn't
Oh,
look like
right.
it's
Yeah.
part of his costume. It looks like it's maybe shadows and everything else. I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah. That is a little off.
Yeah, it just didn't work. The Hydro Man looks fantastic though, with just I've loved these figures. I've saw them do it with the holocron figures for the Black Series. They're really starting to get into a lot of translucent or like see-through characters.
Yeah. What the only reason why, so I haven't started collecting the VHS toys yet,
No, I haven't either.
but I could see if you're collecting them why you would collect them. I could tell you that if I was collecting them, these are ones I would just leave in the box. I wouldn't take them out because they don't look like I'd want to touch them.
Yeah. Well,
That's a problem.
mm-hmm.
Meeks B2G Voltron vibes.
He's
For that,
absolutely right.
yeah, for that train one, that's like the steampunk era Voltron, and because you have Voltron had like the cars, and then they had the cats.
Cats, I
So
remember
like
that.
steampunk eras.
Well, now
the
here's the
trains.
big question, Meek. Are you going to buy it though, brother? Are you going to buy the giving you that Voltron vibe? You feel like you're going to put that on your shelf, man?
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know. Have they released? I don't even know if they released all the any of the other trains yet, or if this is like the first one.
It's probably the first one, but I'll tell you this: the thing that's cool about it is that it looked extremely original for a change.
Oh
They're
yeah,
going into real life like a bullet train, and like they're really kind of like it always surprised me the new life they bring into these things.
yeah. Let's see what else they got. Here's see, they're sold out on their website for.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good thing too, because I'm sure McFarlane's paying through the nose on those.
Yeah, crazy, right? Has to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they have some other stuff on Haslam. This is a cool Cyclops.
Mm-hmm. You know what they also had this week? Sideshow Collectibles did it on Monday. I guess some kind of digital presentation of some of their stuff. And I noticed, like again, when we was talking, I was talking to Chris a little earlier today, and he brought up the aspect too was, when you're looking at sideshows and hot toys, you should definitely. Yeah, I'll give you that, man. I'll give you that, brother.
Yeah, like Meeks, if you bought the Daredevil and Hydra Man, would you keep it in the box or would you take it out of it? Because I think that's. I don't know, I'm just curious. I haven't collected any of the VHS ones yet, so I don't know what I'm missing out
on. Someone I know actually that I met while I was actually going through Ross and everything. He was looking for like some of the X-Men VHSs. And he kept them all inside box, man. And it is an interesting kind of way to display it. I will give them credit. Unfortunately, I think the younger generation probably doesn't know what a VHS is anymore, though. That's the funny thing about it. Yeah, leave it in the box.
Yeah, he definitely would leave it in the box.
I think so too, man.
So you said slideshow, right?
Yeah, Sideshow Collectibles. Mm-hmm. Or Sideshow. I'm sorry, Sideshow. But they had a digital event this week, and they were showing off a couple of their. Now these are just more or less not like action figures. These are more or less statues and everything else. Like that. But I've noticed that again, when we're in the realm of all these different collectibles and everything, it's Sideshow is on the same vein of maybe Hot Toys. I just think some of the Sideshow stuff is a little bit more affordable than the Hot Toy stuff is.
How do you think Michael Keaton feels right now getting all these toys released of his face?
Well, I hope he had his agent had a royalty clause in that, because if not, then I'm sure he's probably pretty ticked off right now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Beetlejuice coming out like that's insane to me. The Ghost Rider one looks awesome.
Yes, it does. It does. Mm-hmm. Much better than that Engines of Vengeance that they tried to come out with last year.
That was bad.
Like that's something I could see actually on the shelf.
But for $1,100,
well, yeah.
Look, but man, it is Sideshow though, so like that's actually not that bad of a price point.
No. And like I said, I've seen Hot Toys that would just absolutely just make that look affordable comparably.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I remember there was I was a massive fan of the Hulkbuster costume.
Yes, I saw that. Yes,
dude, massive fan. there was like a solid
There
6 to
was.
10 months of me trying to figure out how I'm going to buy that. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was just like I could not justify paying that much to have that. But
But
their Hulkbuster, it was
man, the detail in that, and then when you could take off like the helmet and see Tony Stark inside with the light up functions,
unreal.
it is great. Now, this is when I saw the Spider-Man one where they actually have that and the Sinister Six behind it. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I
wow.
mean, like that's not a bad price, $740.
No, it's not. And just the detail on this, man, it's like, wow. Like I will give them credit. Like, there's not a lot of statues that I have in my collection, but
That is a cool statue.
yeah, yeah. You can see Mysterio, you can see Sandman, you can see Doc Ock. They're all ingrained in like the smoke and everything. I think they were saying through like Spider-Man's his sixth sense kind of thing. Spider sense.
Yeah.
So, it's like, wow, the details they're putting into that.
I mean, look, that's great. It also gives me haunted house vibes of Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
the Haunted
I'm
Mansion.
yeah, like the haunted mansion. Like I'm riding through, and then they
Mhm.
show up in my seat.
Well, I'll give them credit though, but their event was they had a lot of things, but the Beetlejuice one, I was like, wow, man. Wow, the detail that they're putting into that. Jesus.
I don't know if you could hear that or
I
not.
can hear that too. Yes.
That was you could hear that.
I can hear that.
I didn't think I had the volume on. That was loud in my ears.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking Superman one. If you're into Superman, I'm not into Superman. I feel like Superman was a comic that was written. They were like, let's give him do everything and then make him weak because of a rock.
Well, the one thing I will give credit to on these is that look, sideshow it's a little bit. It's not for the affordable collector,
Not even
but
close.
but I've seen the McFarlane versions of some of his statues that are for the actual, the people that can't afford spending $600, $700, $800 or $1,100 for an actual statue to sit behind their collection. But look, I can see, yeah, he's right. The detail is like you can't, at least we're getting good detailed stuff lately,
I mean, dude, come on, second chance, like
Mhm.
Bloodsport.
Mhm. I'm telling you, brother. Like I said again, we might have to put that on the end of everything. The fine collectibles part of the
The
Toy Box Chronicles.
Italian stallion.
Mhm.
Ugh.
I'm saying they're putting together some work, man. Let's see that the Ninja Turtles got your name on it, brother.
Yeah, what is this? It's only $63.
Mhm.
What is it? It looks cheesy as hell.
Well, also too, for that amount of money, you might as well just get the NECA stuff, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, Best Action is kind of cool, but I don't know. NECA will always win that.
Mm-hmm.
Batman Year Zero. But I clicked on the Bloodsport statue and I can't find it.
Well, might be a reason for that, but
Why, you don't like Bloodsport?
no, I think that's great and everything. It's like, look, how many people actually will have a John Claude Van Damme statue sitting somewhere? That's probably the bigger thing. That's probably the rare part of collecting.
I just want a Jean Claude Van Damme. So hear me out. This
Okay.
is where I'm epic. Okay, so I want a Jean Claude Van Damme action figure in jeans. Okay, I don't care if there's a shirt on or whatever. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and then I'm going to put him doing the splits between two Optimus Primes. So I can recreate the commercial. You remember the commercial? He's on
I remember 2 cars. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I would want a Jean-Claude Van Damme figure.
No.
So if you can find me one, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm sure it's out there. All right, so let's roll through. Anything you got your eye on lately?
Yeah. There's a few outliers that I'm still debating on buying. There's still some NECA stuff I want to get my hands on. The Kid Copper thing kind of has me intrigued, but not for the price.
Man,
because
Super 7.
it's expensive. It's Super 7. It's not
What are they
Like
doing, man? What
I
are
don't
they
know.
doing?
Like I love, and I love Silverhawks.
Of course.
I've always loved Silverhawks. But I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on right
Like,
now
dude,
with them.
it's like they're just there's like a concentrated effort to bleed the most they can. It's a motorcycle and an actual figure. And $150, like, come on, bro.
And what is it, 6 scale?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 6 scale, right?
Hmm.
So that goes along the lines of like what we were talking about. If they like,
Hmm.
we were talking about mask being 6 scale, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So so to answer your question more directly, a little surprise, I have officially started. Um, we did say so. Yeah. Meeks. We did say Silverhawks. Let me show. I'm gonna show them what
Yeah, go
we're
ahead.
talking. I'm gonna show them
Let's pull 'em.
what we're talking about.
Look, the detail on them and everything, it's kind of like the Thundercat line that they have, the
Yeah,
Ultimates. They look fantastic, but dude, I can't get behind 50 for a figure, and I can't get behind like $149 for a figure and a bike.
yeah. It's too much. Here you go.
Yeah, they're
So
killing it.
Meeks, this is it. So if you go on Super 7, you can pre-order Kid Copper or Copper Kid
Hmm.
and his Star Bike. It's $205, but you get the super pack, so you get an additional head and what looks like a gun. The Copper Kid by himself is like 50 something dollars.
Hmm.
And the speeder, if you get it, which you can pre-order on like Big Bad Toys or whatever, that's like 150 on its own.
And the killer part is, even though it is in 6-inch scale, but he's a Copper Kid. He's not an actual full length. He's like half of the figure, you
Yeah.
know. So it's like it's like, look, I think they do highly detailed work. It looks nice, but they got to start adjusting those prices, because every time I'm on either Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth, yes, we're giving plugs to those two stores. um,
Yeah.
I see every day they send me, this is on discount, and I see a lot of Super 7 stuff constantly on discount.
Well, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Like I bought um I bought a Super 7 Ultimate Lion-O,
Hmm.
and it's probably the crappiest figure I have. And that's what turned me off
Wow.
super quick to Super 7. Like, I mean, I like, and I love Thundercats, so I'm a
Yeah.
little pissed off that they made it so crappy. It's just not a good build. Like it smells like cheap plastic, and
Hmm.
for anyone that opens toys, you guys know, like
You can tell that.
this this doesn't smell like cheap plastic, right? It
Hmm.
smells bad, like bad rubber vinyl.
Hmm.
But I was turned off by it. So like I paid $30 for that. I'm not gonna pay 50. I'm not gonna pay $205 for this because I just don't trust the build quality.
Hmm.
Like look at the like the back tires on that bike.
Hmm.
Like it's I don't know.
Well, again, the same thing. If you look at the same aspect, is that uh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And see, that's the thing that I think that Brian and the people over Super 7 haven't actually like thought about, is that, these are the things that fans want to see. I noticed that they said that if the Thundercats did well and then the Silverhawks did well, then one of my personal like dark horse figure lines I wanted to see again was maybe the Tiger Sharks.
Oh,
And but it's like, look, am I gonna pay like two figures $50? It's $100, man. It's like, I don't know, because it's like, I understand you're pushing these things out to
such a true statement.
they gotta
It
give
has
more
to
to
be.
that, brother. More to
Dude,
that.
they have to be pumping like 75, 50,
Yeah, bro. It's
because
gotta
like
be way more
that,
than that.
like that's an expensive toy.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like something, it's not, kids are not buying these. They're bleeding out the
No.
old school collectors, you know?
And if you're a parent and your kid's like, I want this, you're gonna look at it and be like, I mean, no.
Oh, that's definitely one of those ones you tell your child and everything. This is going in a box somewhere, and maybe 20 years down the line it'll be worth something. But
Yeah.
it's like, you're not playing with a $50 figure. Like, it just gotten, and again, it's like, it's a small motorcycle and it's a small character, and they've got almost $200 for it. Come on, man. Come on,
Yeah.
man. You know, it's like it's the Jurassic Park gates opening again. Super 7 is, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's coming up with their pricing, but they got to start making some adjustments, man.
Well, all their Ninja Turtle toys are like $55. I could buy a NECA one for less, and the build quality's better.
And the worst part too is that actually everything from the packaging to the details to the price,
The
NECA
paint
beats them
jobs.
on 3-on-3. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, come on.
On any line NECA has. Like, even the cartoon line is epic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be honest. I will be revealing over on the Retro Rewind Club with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I have officially started my mask collection.
Okay, all right. All right.
I found a package deal on eBay.
Mm.
Comes with it's three. I got three of them complete, including the box, instructions, everything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was a fantastic purchase, but it has started my collection. Unfortunately, I think there's only one Series 1 figure in there. I think the others are like Series 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great start. I'm excited about it. I'm revealing it. We're going to talk about it on the Retro Rewind Club. And then obviously, like as I go, like I'll be bringing them on over here. But I am convinced they're going to do something with that toy line again.
They better do something, man.
Like,
you know, look, it's a functional line, and I think it's sat dormant on the shelf for way too long. I think they could bring it back, and I think there's an actual fan base for that. And you know, the one thing I'll say is that at least with Hasbro, we understand it's, you know, look, they'll probably be mostly crowdfunded because I can't see them doing the vehicles. And or at least, or if they're gonna, because I can't see them keeping the figures at the same scale. I think you have to actually, you know,
you would, yeah. I wouldn't want, like, I am a mask. I love mask for some odd reason, but I wouldn't buy a mask figure at that same scale. I want it like I want like a 6-inch figure.
And if you look at the stuff that's not technically masked, but if you go over to Ramen Toys and Ace and everything, he's producing some stuff over there that's like mask like, but not masked.
Yeah.
But
I definitely have been on that site and have definitely wanted that.
I'm anticipating my not the intervention, Ramen Racer technically showing up, man, because that's wow, the craftsmanship and everything that he's putting in that stuff. If he does a version of the let's say the semi truck for masks, then I'll definitely purchase it there, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, man. The mask collection definitely beats the Joe collection, bro.
Yeah. You know, he said it's just the show we never know we needed. That's true. But yeah, I'm excited. I've taken my finances for toys and redirected them to eBay because there's just no good toy coming out. So I figure now's a perfect time to do the collection. I'm gonna find a wall in here and put a shelf, and I'm just gonna start stacking them on there. I have the comics. I think I'm missing like issue number 1 or something, but
those are extremely still doable to get to.
Yeah, and they're not expensive. I know it's, and look, I'm not collecting them because I think they're gonna be worth like thousands of dollars. Like, I don't think it is, but Chris said he got outbid for a Muscle lot. You remember Muscle?
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I remember just talking about that the other
day. That's so good. I think that, like, I don't know.
If he does get those, and we got to bring them on one night. You got to just bring the old school Muscles back and something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So do you? So I know that a majority of the people watching probably are not subscribed to the channel. So please hit the subscribe button. Like the video, like the live, get it out there, pump it up. We're live every Wednesday for TOYBOX Chronicles. We're live every Friday with the entire crew, the Shadow Crew podcast. We go over a plethora of things and excitement for everybody to watch and listen. That's been doing really well.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, and then Chris and I do a podcast that's not live, and we're still talking about it. But it is a podcast. It's called the Retro Rewind Club, and we really just talk about Like we get on, we talk about an era, and then we just start Googling, and we just have our instant reactions to all that, which translates to one of us challenging the other one to buy something. And we were talking about Mask on the last one, and I was like, you know what, I'm pulling the trigger. So
got you going.
But yeah, anything from you?
Yeah, well, as always, I've been running with you because my good running buddy, Dr. Brentley's been so busy. But if you popped on the channel, the Shadow Crew Network, or the actual Shadow Nose Network, then you've probably seen the retrospect with Dr. Brentley and Mr. Storm. We are working on a new one right now. It's going to be a complete Indiana Jones. So Dr. Brentley got his way. It's going to be an Indiana Jones retrospect. And unfortunately, the only thing that we had argument about is that, I guess I'm going to have to be short round. So there's be a little stupid, goofy short round costume. And he's, of course, obviously he's Indiana Jones. So,
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that one and everything. We've been kind of like mussing out the time that we can get that done. But I know he's heavily excited about that one.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I sent him an Indiana Jones figure, and he said that they couldn't even give it away. So
I saw that.
Look, he said that. Look, he said that's right. It's right here. There he is.
Yeah,
popped in just in time to get after us.
Hey, he knows we're going to bring up that. But again, everybody like, subscribe. I think everybody that's been tuning in. We've been really having a fun for these last couple of weeks. We're going to keep the momentum going. And Friday nights, if you like this, then our other two counterparts are even funnier than we, or at least they think they're funnier than us.
They're not.
But no, not really.
No.
But tune in.
All the comedy happens here, people.
I like to think it and everything. Now, hey, next week, what's the prediction? We're going to come up with any unboxings, everything. I'm trying to see what is coming in the pipeline.
Well, we could do. I could get up and get two, and we can let the people in the chat decide real quick.
All right. Well, let's let them.
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab it real quick.
All right.
Keep talking. Keep it busy.
All right now, and we'll see if anybody else has got anything that you got coming. Do me a favor. Not only can you put it in the comments here, but you can go over to the Shadow Nose Network on Instagram. Hey, DM us. Let us know. See some of those photos that you guys are kicking in. All the stuff in your collections. If you see anything obscure out there, let us know.
I got it.
All right.
Because I want to open these.
Okay.
And so I need everybody to tell me what we're going to open next week. We can go with Batman.
Oh man.
Huh? Yeah. We got Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we opened Scarecrow. Scarecrow was epic.
Remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then if we want, we can open up.
Oh, you talking about Batman and Robin, or just either?
No, I mean, if people want to see both of them, we can open both of them.
Oh.
I still have about 35 other options we got to open, so it's So, which one do you think? Which one would you want to see first?
Obviously, always the Dark Knight, man. Like I said, and I just saw Wave 2 of those figures now start popping up in stores.
I haven't seen Wave 2. Which ones are they? You're muted. Still muted. He's muted. Well, we will build the Condiment King, Dr. Brentley. Mr. Storm has gone on mute because of technical difficulties. Wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't have technical problems. So I'm going to need everyone out there that's watching to stay sexy and subscribe. And Mr. Storm, if we can get 2 thumbs up, we'll go ahead and end it because I know we got technical problems. We appreciate everybody. Hang out after the stream, Storm. We'll see if we can figure it out. But until next time, stay sexy, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next stream.